right now because you finished work at 4. Do you want me to call you?
No, you.
Oh, okay.
They don't work.
What's your purse? That's right. You need help at all?
No, just waiting for my bus.
You're just filming everyone and everything?
Personal protection.
Personal protection.
I have a spine injury, and over the last 7 years, I find I've been harassed and knocked down and beaten up, and no one believes. So I collect evidence now, and somewhat of a deterrent.
Well, it's certainly is a little uneasy knowing that it might be, may or may not be on, and people will be like, kind of creepy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but consider
it is in plain view.
Yes, and it's fixed. So, but consider someone walking like this at times, and someone, and I say, I'm just coming back from a spinal decompression treatment, and I get knocked down.
Yeah.
Like, that's horrendous. So,
nobody should have to put up with that.
Exactly.
You know what? Yeah.
But when I've been surrounded by, wasn't a uniform like that, but I say, I have a spinal injury, and they go, no you don't. Like 6 guys surrounded me, like in uniform. So it's...
They didn't hurt you, did they?
Not that time, but I've been on the bus. I've been 5 guys wouldn't let me pass, and they body checked me, slammed me down to the floor, and I was minutes from my chiropractic appointment. And I have a hard time using my arm. Like this is, and I go to a chiropractor and physio and all kinds of appointments. And one time one cycle I'm walking, and other times I'm hurting. I've just had a rest on the seat, so I'm standing here. Other time, like half an hour ago, I'm like casting about, looking for a seat, just desperate to rest my back.
Yeah.
So, I've had 60 sessions on a spinal decompression to get rid of herniations. So it's a long, long road. There's scar tissue. There's all kinds of difficulties. And when somebody says they have an injury, and they just, no you don't believe me. And the thing is, if they're undercover sometimes, and you don't know who's attacking you or why, they think they're attacking a drug addict. And I don't know, having a clue what the issue is or why someone's being a jerk to me.
I'm a big guy, right? But I've worked here 22 years, and I've lived in the city longer. Mm-hmm. I have never once been physically assaulted.
I don't follow.
Or threatened. I don't
Because
know.
you're big, or
Well, maybe because of my size. I don't know that. Maybe because of my. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
well, I'm not talking about anywhere. I'm strictly on the bus system. I've been deprived of seats simply because they think I don't deserve one. So,
the admin station.
Yep. You just gotta go one station west.
you know, and
that one?
yeah, and
I can see that.
deprived of railings, deprived of seats, deprived, knocked down, body slammed.
You look normal.
Now, yes,
I'm
but
not
thank
sorry
you.
for the word normal. I mean, it's like people like
Yeah, but
say the same thing about me. You know,
but
like,
I
what's
had a car
normal?
accident 8 years ago, and that really set everything off.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? You're shut in for a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
and then you have to go to an appointment. That's the only reason you're going out, and you're struggling to get by. And man, the attention you get, and then and I get all kinds of attention. So I don't. So now the issue is protecting myself.
Yeah.
And the only reason I use a bus system ever is to go to a medical appointment. And like I say, you know, today, about 2 weeks ago, the diagnosis I had, I couldn't lift a cup of tea.
Well, I still
Hurt too
find
much.
it. I'm a little uneasy about it.
The camera, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I would never, you know,
having
want
having to go there is an idiotic situation, and especially when anytime I'm someone. Like now, I'm forthright. I have this, I have that, or the whole bit, and it just does not compute.
Yeah. Well, I certainly understand. I mean, I've seen a lot of things out here in my 22 years here.
Yeah.
And you know, I've learned to give people the benefit of the doubt always.
One of the things is most people are on their own on the bus system. Pairs aren't so common. Maybe going to the games and various things like that, but. Someone can easily be abused and pushed around, and
Yeah.
So I've collected a lot of faces, a lot of situations.
How do you use that to your advantage then?
Transparency. There's a statistical analysis of letting the public know that there's a problem of communication. Just because, like, it seems to me, anyone, like, I go to physio a lot, and I talk to everyone there. They say they just came out of the hospital. They just had major operations on their arm. You know, someone wiped out and had all kinds of injuries, and they just were terrorized. They hated it, and they didn't understand what was going on, and it's unanimous. Everyone, it seems to be a problem with, as soon as you know, like, I'm sure drug addicts wrap a bandage around their head and go, I'm injured, and that's the scam.
Yeah.
And like you say, you've seen it all, but the thing is, someone who genuinely has an injury, just came out of the hospital, they're getting all this horrible attention, being denied the use of an elevator by someone who's using a baby carriage to ram them. All these vulnerable people in disguise, with babies and other drug addicts and people jumping around, endangering. I know you got to have a standing army to defend this facility and the people, but there has to be some accountability.
Okay, so what does the camera do for you?
It captures the transgressions. It deters. Same thing as any security camera system.
Right. Yeah, but what's to stop somebody from, you know, giving you a good punch and picking it and just smashing it on the ground, or taking the card out of it, or saying, you know, leaving you on your back and
well,
thanks
who would
for
do
the
that?
camera. I don't know. I mean, the fact is that you're carrying around this camera with you, and to be honest with you, I tell you, I think it's kind of creepy, you know. But I understand your problem.
I have no recourse.
Why you got?
I think it would make you more. Well, that guy has a camera. Why does he have a camera? You're more heaty, right? Like some people actually
No, this is. I didn't have this to begin with. It's been. I only got this in the last year or so. It was. The problem existed for 5 years. I've lived in a couple of different places, having been deprived of seats and different things, and I started to realize I need to document this.
Yeah.
Like that, the realization that that was more important than anything else.
So let me ask you, when you say you need to document it, what are you documenting? How are you documenting it?
Like the medium is the camera, but
yeah. I mean,
but what am I doing with the subject afterwards?
Exactly. I mean, we've got a conversation going.
Well,
here.
I have.
mean, am I saying anything that's going to?
No, it's a reasonable. That's the thing. It's a
Yeah.
reasonable. Everything you're saying is reasonable.
Okay, good.
But like I have some associations, and I'll share it with people at UBC. I'll share it with other associations like Hollaback is a society for women that are abused on the transit system. But they need to know that there's two sides of the coin. So I will definitely contact them. I'll contact every medical outfit in British Columbia that has people traveling to and from appointments, and so far, what do you call it? It's been a high rate of acknowledgement that there is a problem and they're being abused and denied services simply because they have a limp or a bandage.
Yeah.
So, and there's no recourse. They don't know what's going on. Like if it was you with the uniform, they would, there'd be a name and a connection. But
you see, I don't know how you. I would hate to be on camera if I got onto a train with an 90-year-old woman, and I approached you and I said, "Excuse me, can you give up the seat for this woman?" And you said no.
Well. Because for me, look, you
know what I'm saying?
No,
90-year-old woman and somebody who looks
able. That's an extreme. Yeah, looks
able. I've done it before.
Looks,
and it's embarrassing for me.
What?
I asked someone, "Excuse me, can you give up your seat for this person?" And the guy's sitting there and he's going, "I got a problem." And I've had both my knees replaced too, and I have to while I was going through therapy. I was on trains too.
An extreme situation is a 90-year-old person or someone who's that's obvious. There's no decision there. I don't have a problem with that, and I'm sure that's happened. I've given up the seats plenty of times. But if someone is occupying a seat just to take it away from me, or obviously doesn't need it, I ask, and I ask polite. Or I don't ask at all, and I suffer long, and I start sinking down like this. But because the muscle spasms, I can't. But the thing is, if it's someone who is on the job doing that on purpose, I'll share that with, and I don't share it with. It's authorities I share it with, and people need to know. And there's also I wear it when I ride my bicycle, and. That's the thing about riding a bicycle. It's a position that's just perfect for sciatica. It's kind of like a wheelchair. It doesn't exacerbate. It's a perfect forward position. It's sitting like this or like this is good. Sitting upright is hard. And it's not that helpful. It doesn't. But
I certainly empathize. Hold on. No, not here.
But the thing
I certainly empathize because I've got someone very dear to me has got stenosis in the back and upper neck, and she goes through a lot of pain. And I.
But does she get terrorized?
Well, no, because she